Yes, Frank. You know, it's another new year, and this is our first video for the year.
Yes, yes.
And last year we did a few videos, and can you recap some of the things that we did last year?
Last year, where do we even start? Last year was quite an interesting year. We did a lot of things, but what we did not do is be consistent, which hopefully that's going to change. But now, what we did, because that's what we are here to talk about.
Yeah.
We went to a couple of events, which is really nice, which I'm sure we'll talk about as we go.
Yes.
What else did we do? We did a lot of business. Well, a few. We also managed to upgrade. It was it ended really well that year.
Yeah. And do you have one of the paraphernalia that you upgraded?
Yeah. First thing first, you can probably even see what I'm using right now.
Can you show us? I can see you have the box there and
oh yeah.
some of the.
Yeah, so this is Rode. This is the box for Rode Wireless Pro. It's currently what I'm using here. This is the receiver.
I can't see it on my lens.
Oh.
So lift the other one, the case.
This?
Yeah, on your chest.
Oh yeah. So this is how the box looks like. A very sturdy box, and I think it looks quite good. The material is solid. Yeah. The receiver itself is here, and we have two of these. So one Odongo is using on the other end, and I'm using the other one. And I'm sure you can tell it sounds really good. Yeah.
Definitely.
And it's also quite compact, because now I can free my hands. The other time I was using the handheld one, which you've probably seen in our videos. So that's something we are quite proud of. Also, for the most part, in fact, literally since we started running the channel, we've been recording on phones. Yeah, this S21 Ultra and and Redmi.
I remember we started with the phone.
Yeah.
And that monopod.
Oh,
and then it came by that you surprised me with the gimbal.
With the gimbal.
Yes.
And even, I'm glad you mentioned the monopod.
Yeah.
That thing was so important because I remember when we were in that 4x4 event. Where was that?
At Lukenya, right? Lukenya.
Yes, Lukenya.
Yes.
Now the thing with that monopod is that it's quite long. Like you can extend it to up to, is it 2 meters?
Yes.
Yeah. So you could just attach it on the phone, and you could. What is that even called?
It has a good reach.
It's very good reach.
Where you want some close up.
Yeah.
So you make sure that you know when you do it by yourself you won't reach.
Yeah.
So you use the monopod to extend the reach to where
Exactly.
you want the focus to be.
Yeah, that was quite helpful. And the scenes I liked most was when you could even poke it in people's cars and get the reaction on their faces. Yeah, that was quite nice. Or even under the car while it's climbing rocks.
True.
It had its highlights, but now we've since gotten a camera, Lumix, Team Lumix out
Can
there.
you show us the camera one?
Yeah.
So I can't see the camera.
Here
so
we
you
have
have to
a
raise
Lumix.
it up.
S52X. That's from the S5 lineup. So in that lineup, there's the S5, S5 II, and there's now the S5 IIX. There's like a small upgrade over the S5 II, which has slightly better features than the S5 II. One of them being the fact that you can record. No, the autofocus. I have to mention that. That's the most important in this.
Yeah, actually, currently we are recording on S1.
Yes.
And you know, S1 autofocus is not face detectors of focus. It is a contract-based autofocus. So it's so poor as compared to S5 IIX.
Yeah.
You can continue, Franco.
Yeah, for sure. Although, so one thing I'd also say about that autofocus is you're saying it's poor, but then I think it just depends on your use case.
Exactly.
Because for this, if you really rig it to the maximum, let's say when you're shooting film, I don't think you'll need that autofocus.
No, you don't need it. Actually, when we use our, can you give Frank this lens and this one as well?
Yeah. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, actually, when we use our, because we also bought the anamorphic lenses and they wanted to do some serious film.
Yes.
So we really needed anamorphic lenses and which one is that?
This is 50 mm f1.8 anamorphic lens from Sirui. We chose this because they are very nice, compact anamorphic lenses and they are budget friendly too. So we thought we might dip our toes in the anamorphic field. We also have the 35, is it 35?
Yeah, 35 mm.
Which you've been using quite a lot.
Yeah, we've been using it.
Yeah, so there's the 35 mm anamorphic lens from Sirui. Yeah. So with these two, we were hoping to get like varied shots. So I could maybe use this on the S5 IIX, capture a bit of, is it wider or narrower?
Narrower. The 50 mm,
50
is
mm
narrower as compared to
Yes.
35 mm.
Yeah, this 35 for a bit of closer and tighter shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that variety. Unfortunately, we've not tested this to the max. That's something we were to do last year, but at least it gives us something to start from this year. So expect us to post some very nice cinematic and film, anamorphic films coming soon. Yeah. Besides that, we also have the 24-70. That's what we are shooting on currently.
Yeah.
And I like it a lot because it gives me that range. You know, since we shoot mostly cars, since this is the first lens that came, the 50 mm, the immediate challenge we faced was that it could not record properly inside the car because you have such a shallow, is it a shallow? The focus distance is quite
Not
long.
necessarily the focus distance, but the space is too confined.
Yeah.
And so with 50 mm, you can't capture the whole of the dashboard.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
we needed a lower focal length, like 24 mm.
Yeah.
And I think we are still focusing on getting a 16 to 35
We still need
mm.
the 16 to
Yeah,
25.
because with 16 to 35 now we can get what we really want, especially when shooting inside the car.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So we are hoping to get that next.
Yeah, also for real estate, we
for
still
sure.
need 16 to 35 mm. Yeah.
What do you think though of 18, f1.8? Would you?
18, it's still good. However, 18 is like 3 stops of focal point of 16. You know, 3 stops is great, especially when you have 16 mm. So I think 18 is not much of a fisheye lens as compared to 16 mm.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I go for 16 mm. Someone like antivirus, he talks of buying 12 mm, 12 to 24.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes. Because he uses Sony FX3.
Yes, which we also have to try out. There's always been the debate between, again, FX3 and this Underdog right here. I'm calling it Underdog because not very many people know about it. And it's literally almost half the price of an FX3. And funny enough, there are places where it kills FX3. And FX3 fans won't like me saying that, but it's true. But maybe their main argument usually is that the Sony autofocus is quite good. But as I said earlier, when you're doing serious shooting, you won't need that autofocus. You'll be pulling focus manually. So that's also something we'll do a comparison and reviews and get ready for those videos. And we look forward to pissing Sony fans off with this camera.
One thing I also like with that
Yeah.
with the Lumix S5 2X is that it can shoot ProRes.
Yes.
So if you are really into
Wait,
serious
FX3
film,
can't?
yeah?
FX3 can?
No, FX3 can't shoot in ProRes. Yeah. So when you're really into film, then now you have ProRes
Yeah.
direct from the camera. Yeah, and also you can record in SSD.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can also
externally
record
to
using,
SSD.
Yeah, externally to SSD.
Which is actually how I've been using it, because when we got it, we didn't get cards, or rather we lost the one card we had.
Yeah.
So we've just been recording directly to the card,
To the SSD.
to the SSD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So personally, I think it's a good camera because if something can shoot all the way to 6K,
Yes.
but not just 6K, but 6K open gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Frank, can you tell us what open gate is?
I can attempt to explain what OpenGate is, but what you just need to know is that I'm getting the full
Sensor
the
readout.
sensor. Yeah. So that means basically if I want a portrait image like what you see in reels and shorts, I literally have a way to crop it to that format. If I want like APS-C, that's like the landscape one you see in most movies, I can still get it.
No, I think open gate. So we have let me just say the two main aspect ratios. That is 16:9 and 9:16. So the good thing with open gate that the whole sensor is red.
Yeah.
Yeah. The image is captured in the whole sensor. The camera doesn't crop the sensor. So you find that you are able to shoot 16:9, and also you can use the same 16:9 that you shot to shoot to edit a reel of 9:16. Yes.
Yeah.
And the good thing with the camera is that I think there was an update.
Yeah.
And the update was supposed to show you that it was supposed to give you the frames for 16:9 and also 9:16.
9:16.
Yeah, on your screen.
Which I've just realized I need to.
Yeah, you really need to update it. In fact, of this, you're going to update it.
Yeah. So that's some of the technicalities, but just know our life will be very easy when we just need one shot that can either be cropped into shorts or reels, or just our normal YouTube format. That is something that we really like about it. In fact, cameras that you can afford, or rather, the competitors of this camera, most of them can't do it at that price point.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so whenever you tell me about FX3, just know I have solid points. Yeah, that I can throw out there.
Yeah. So coming to this year, so what are the plans for this year?
So this year we can expect a lot about, first of all, something like this, what we are doing right now, where we just have talking heads. It could be podcast-like content, it could be reviews, it could be maybe just talking about what's happening in the car scene, in the news scene, in this kind of format. That's one thing we are really looking to do this year. We're also looking to just keep doing the events that we were doing. The only difference would be better quality, of course, better editing, better sound. Yeah, and we're also hoping to have some very nice guests you probably know from out there. People like, I don't want to name names because that's subject to them confirming if they'll be coming on set, but we are hoping to collaborate widely with people from that industry and just get richer content for most of our audience. And we're also looking to expand the audience base. Remember when we started the Kenyan Seeker, it was about exploring what Kenya has to offer. This is not limited to just events. Of course, we are looking at exploring travel vlogs, we are looking at car events, we are looking at tech reviews, we are looking at almost everything, you name it. So we'll just have different segments, how we've been doing it, but we'll have to tag each so that you know what you are looking at any given point.
Yeah. Speaking on audio, I remember we had we needed to work on our first podcast with Jambi.
Yes.
Jambi, the youngest.
Yeah.
What was her title?
The best youngest driver in Kenya.
In Kenya.
Yes.
Let me say the continent, because she went to Austria to
represent Kenya.
Represent Kenya, yeah.
And she won, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So those are some very interesting guests. We should have posted it. It's just that we had audio issues, which now should not be a problem.
And we welcomed her for the next shoot, which she warmly agreed to it, and we are just planning on the day that we need to shoot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So those are two different formats, wider reach in terms of content and audience. And then the third thing that I've probably mentioned is, remember when I showed you the anamorphic lenses, we need to test out these lenses. We need to see what they can really do. Can you shoot anamorphic on a budget? Ama it's just a gimmick? That's something we are really looking to see. So expect short films, expect cinematic style. Most of those we'll even do in our normal content. So hoping that you like what comes out eventually. Yeah, so there's that. A lot of experimentation. Also a lot of consistency.
Yeah, we haven't been consistent for the past, since we started the channel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
3 years down most channels that started 3 years ago are being monetized right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I saw Waigera's started his channel 2024.
Yeah.
And currently he's monetized and he has a lot of subscribers.
Yes.
Whereas started in 2021 and
we are just sleeping, waiting for the perfect moment. In life, there are no perfect moments. You just take it as it comes and you push it.
Yeah. So, what events do we have this year? What events do we have, and which ones are you really enthusiastic on making sure that you go to them, whether thick or thin?
Yes. So, on the calendar, one thing, even before I look at what's gonna happen, there are just those ones that are constant. One is upcoming 20th March. That's Safari Rally in Naivasha. Come rain, come sunshine, we have to make it there. It's usually crazy in terms of logistics, but we'll make sure to be quite prepared this time round. Preparations are already underway, so we're just getting to know what is what. Logistics, as I said, that's one. Two, of course, all the bike series. That's the Sleek Superbike series, the championships. We are hoping to make it to at least most of them, so we know how our favorite riders are going to start from the beginning, whether they'll maintain the pace towards the end of the year. Yeah, that's something we're quite keen on seeing. There's also the 4x4 series. That is also quite an interesting genre that we are getting into. Last year we only did where was it? The Lukenya one. Yeah, there's the Mad for Fun, which we are really hoping to go to. There's also another one that happened last year in Naivasha.
There's one that happened, I think it was also 4x4. Was it Madfest or something?
I think it's Madfest.
Yeah,
Madfest is the Kasarani one.
No, the Kasarani one is RX Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's also another one that happened at Rongai. I think it's the 4x4 still, right?
Yeah, that's the 4x4 still. Yeah, so those ones we have to go to.
And you should not forget the Drift Championship.
Of course. In fact, that should have been the first one on the list. Yeah, definitely.
Jinlu and Jennifer.
Hey. And I like that it's actually growing. There are more fans. There are more
participants.
Cars, more drifters, more participants. We've seen people from Uganda. We've seen people from across East Africa. We've seen diversity. We've seen ladies coming into the sport and doing really well. And we are hoping to see it grow to even it to attract even a far or wider audience more than it has so far. So we are hoping Kina Jinlu keep doing their thing, and we're hoping, of course, fans will always be there to support and enjoy. We're looking at maybe new drivers in the scene, new cars to test. Yeah. So that's the one we are particularly excited about. Of course, I can't forget the Sunset GTs, those ones we have to go to. What else is there? Tuna Fest.
Yeah, Tuna
Remember,
Fest.
one of our best performing content
Yeah, it's a Tuna Fest.
is the
video.
Tuna Fest one. Yeah, we attended that, the Garden City one.
Yeah. I remember.
I think it was really good. And yeah, we are looking forward to more like that. And which one am I forgetting?
Yeah, Moke also has some here that.
Yeah, of course. We have to shout
can
out our
see.
boy Amoke.
Yeah.
He's the one who plugs us with
plugs us
most of these events.
That's true.
Yeah, and mostly even just accessing the event like as media. He's played quite an important role in helping us access some of these venues. And yeah.
Any other events that you might think of that we really need to go for this year?
Oh yeah, there's one I'm forgetting, and that's Concours Elegance. Yeah, it's we missed the last year one, unfortunately, but we were there in the other year, 2023.
Yeah.
But usually that's something we look forward to a lot, and like most classic car enthusiasts out there, where we just see people restore classic cars to how they were back to their glory. And they win award. If you restore yours to a very good mint state, you'll be recognized, you'll win awards. And we really look forward to it. I've seen also, Tuna Fest has a classic car edition, like the one that happened in Garden City late last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it seems the classic car environment is also growing. So those are some that I'm quite keen on attending. Yeah, there's of course the Motocross, RX Fest. Those ones, again, we have to look at, we have to attend. Because, of course, we are motorsports enthusiasts, let me put it like that. So anything adrenaline filled, expect us to be there. Yeah, and I'd say that's right about it.
Yeah, so I think events are covered.
Yeah.
And you know, we cannot only work on only events.
For sure.
Because you know, from January to the end of Feb, there are no events, according to my understanding.
Actually,
I haven't seen any event.
yeah, they haven't.
So I think it is time for us also to do reviews. You know, we started the channel with the reviews.
Yeah.
And I remember our first review was the Mazda CX-5.
Yeah, that did quite well. But it's funny because that, I think it was a very well-timed video because it was right at the time when people are getting crazy about the CX-5.
Yes.
So since we got our hands on one and reviewed it,
Yeah.
everyone wanted to know, why are people excited about this car? Now, we didn't... Okay, honestly speaking, it was not the most comprehensive review, but of course it helped where it helped. But I'm thinking it's an opportunity we really have to explore because that's a field that we are very passionate about. We have friends in those spaces. And actually part of the plans for this year is just walking to some of those friends or people, dealerships, and getting some of the cars that you like, be it sports ones, be it luxury ones, be it affordable ones for your commute. Yeah, we are hoping to review them in a very objective and entertaining way and deliver that kind of content to you. And hopefully, yeah, we should get out a few reviews this year.
Yeah, so to recap, I think that was 2021, to recap on Mazda CX-5. So from what you knew then and what you know now, so what could you say about it, about the Mazda CX-5?
About the CX-5?
Yeah.
Hey, other than the fact that now it's too hyped. But yeah,
everyone has a CX-5.
Everyone has a CX-5 in Soul Red, of course, or Wine Red if you like. Of course, that's not a coincidence. It's a very good car, for sure. Back then, I remember we compared it to like the Subaru Forester, we compared it to the CRV. Now look at today, the sales of the Subaru Forester and the sales of CRV, I'm sure they're not anywhere close to the Mazda CX-5. It's literally become the go-to corporate car for, unfortunately, most ladies. Yeah, which I'd admit they have a keen taste. Yeah, so it's really performed well. What I'd also say is it's been consistent. That was like 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Every other edition that has been released since has just been improving on the Mazda's formula that always works. Yeah, they call it the Kodo design, right? I think if we were to argue among the mid-size SUVs or the crossover SUVs we've seen on the Kenyan market so far, I'd say it's the best looking.
It's the best looking.
It's the best looking.
Okay.
Maybe you could say also that, of course, it has not been without its challenges. There are those issues with like DPF, where when it started, in fact, I remember when we reviewed it, we recommended that people get the diesel one. And I could see some guy got very worked up in the comment section saying diesel is problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to, I don't know, like if you're just commuting with it, it's not going to help you.
Yeah, I think some guy said that
Yeah.
the fuel we use here is not for the car.
Yeah, they said, I think our diesel is a bit heavy.
Uh,
So I don't know, it spoils the engine, so to speak, faster than it would. Yeah. Now, of course, people have come up with solutions, which the famous DPF delete that is now happening across the board, be it the diesel Demios, Axelas, and even Mazda. I don't know how good it is because
what is this DPF?
with the little engineering knowledge I have, and very little engineering knowledge, it's supposed to like filter the fuel. I don't know if it's a fuel or whatever, but ideally, there's a way it stores those particulate, and when you go for a longer distance, it starts burning those, rather than excreting them to the environment. So you see, most people who use the Mazda, they use it for like short distances, which you don't get enough time to burn all that particulate matter. So it ends up clogging the system, I'll call it that, and you have issues with the car. So what people are doing is they're deleting it all together so there's no accumulation in there. I wonder how that impacts it mechanically. Maybe mechanics out there can tell us, but it seems to be working. People are buying the car, the first thing they're doing is deleting that DPF, and it's working just normally. And I'd also say the diesel is quite fun to drive. The power is okay. The power is there.
Oh, so when it comes to power, diesel, when it comes to power between diesel and petroleum, then diesel is more powerful. Is that why they use it on trucks?
I would say so. I
think rollies.
I think diesel tends to have more low-end torque. Yeah. That is where, for things like towing, like massive things, diesel would work better. But for petrol, more of like power, more horsepower. I could be wrong, but that's just my thought. If you want to tow, if you want to like, for these massive SUVs that are quite heavy, diesel works quite well. But for like fast cars, the Subarus, I don't know whether you can say Subarus are fast cars, not all of them. Yeah, but those ones mostly would be petrol. Yeah.
Okay.
But one thing I'd say is, in terms of maintenance, diesel is not for everyone. And that's a challenge I've seen even amongst people who buy the CX-5 currently or the Axela or Atenza in diesel. Because there's just some things that you have to take care of it. If you don't, you're going to ruin your engine. Things like just letting it warm up before you leave at work in the morning. Things like taking it for long trips to burn the particulates that accumulates, like I was talking about earlier. Regular maintenance, of course. Yeah, those are things that a normal Kenyan who wakes up, maybe he's probably late for work and he wants to rush. I don't think you have 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes to let your engine warm up before you leave. So most of these things you'd say the car is reliable or not reliable, but it's just your lifestyle and how you take care of your car, whether petrol or diesel. Yeah.
So, for yourself, which one would you go for? Or rather, the car that you have, can you tell us something about it?
It depends. It depends on two things. One, use case, of course. Like I've said, if it's commuting, I won't take diesel because I don't have time to think about all that maintenance. Yeah. I just go petrol, I just wake up, get on it and move. Yeah. For things like off-roading, I think I might go diesel because of price, first of all. Yeah. Like there's this, if I were to get a Prado, say J150, I'd get it in diesel because mostly my use case would be doing things like what Kina Mara Nomads do. In that case, I have like time. It's like a pet project. I can give it the tender care it needs. I can most probably fix some things myself or have a friend of mine who knows it inside out and can help me with most of the things. Yeah, so in those two cases, if money is no object, you have both. Yeah, but you can also get, I don't know, I want to say hybrid, but I don't want to go that direction. Yeah.
Hybrid.
Yeah.
Personally, I like hybrid. However, there's a guy who told me that, when the battery gets used up, so purchasing a new battery is like purchasing another car. Could that be true?
It's quite a common thing. There's a time, I remember there's a friend who wanted to buy the was it Honda Stream? It's either, I think it's Stream. Stream is the long one, right? It looks like Fit, but it's slightly longer. Yeah. She wanted to buy that, and one of the things that made her not buy it was the notion that hybrid is quite unreliable in terms of once things start going wrong, then there's nothing. Like, for example, the battery that you're talking about, once it degrades, there's nothing you can do. But I just think, okay, first, that's a valid point in the sense that most cars that we buy in Kenya, we rarely buy brand new cars. You're buying a car that has probably spent 5 or 6 years in Japan, and it's coming here when someone that hybrid system has been working over time.
The charging cycle
Yes,
and the rest.
Exactly. So batteries are batteries, and they're gonna, the cells are going to wear out at some point. So I don't know how easy it is to get here in Kenya, but I'd say it's a valid concern. But I'd also like to say, remember when Toyota started doing hybrid from Prius back in the day? I think they've had enough time to perfect that technology. And for most people who've bought hybrid Toyotas, I think they're doing just well. Yeah.
So getting a hybrid, you shouldn't be worried
You shouldn't be so much worried about it, as long as, of course, you just do your regular service. But I'd say the best way to do it would be to buy it new or slightly used. Maybe we're looking at around 0 to maybe 100K mileage. Yeah. You'd still have at least 5 years maximum. That could go from 3 to 5 years, depending on how the previous owner was using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't discount the kind of efficiency and the cost savings you get from hybrid. Speaking of hybrid,
yeah,
there's a trend that I've mostly been seeing. I wouldn't call it a trend per se, but suddenly it feels like the automakers are moving a certain direction with cars. First, it began with going electric, and then there was serious backlash from enthusiasts. Of course, in the key models that people like. And for example, let me say, okay, here's a hot take. I think hybrid engines are just meant for commuter cars. I can put it like that. Cars that people you're going there to maybe save money in terms of the amount of fuel you spend every month while you're going to work.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about supercars, I think you don't need to have it there.
So how about someone like me who needs to go to up country, and up country is like 400 kilometers from Nairobi.
Yeah.
So do you think having a hybrid car would be more beneficial than having a full combustion?
Yeah,
car?
I think so. If you can get it, I would totally recommend. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially things like the Harrier. There's that new hybrid one, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, for such kind of use cases, economy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for someone who doesn't care about economy, I don't know. I don't know. You saw the backlash when Mercedes released the C63 with the 4-cylinder engine, turbocharged engine, with electric parts. That wasn't well received because you don't expect something like a C63 to have that engine.
Yes.
The moment they dropped the V8 from the Land Cruiser, people were not happy about it. I don't know if that's something that's going to change. I think I've heard rumors that they'll go back to V8 at some point. But the reason why even Kenyans call that car V8 is because of the V8
Yes.
Now imagine the joke of you buying the latest V8. That's
why the engine.
and then people call it a V8 and it doesn't have the V8 under the hood. Yeah, it's let's just have another car with that engine, but let the V8 be the V8. Let the C63 have the V8 in it. But then again, I also look at something like the Revuelto. It's a supercar with a hybrid engine. It performs quite well and it's quite expensive too. So something like that might make you think like maybe fully electric is not it, but maybe a hybrid might be the way, because that car is really loved by a lot of people, except those who like SF90, which is its direct, I don't want to say direct competitor because it's cheaper and it beats the Revuelto, which is more expensive and hybrid. So it boils down to a matter of taste. But I'm bringing that up to say, with these things, there's no right and wrong answer, except when you're touching brands that people are really passionate about. Yeah. And by that, I mean like the C63s. Anything AMG should not have a hybrid engine.
Hybrid, yeah.
Yeah, I don't expect that to be the case. Same thing, things like the V8s that I've talked about, I don't expect them to have 4-cylinder engines. They are that way for a reason. For someone who, okay, let me put it this way. Why should you have the latest Land Cruiser have the 4-cylinder engine or a turbocharged V6, and then you have something like, what's the one that's immediately under? In US, I know it's the 4Runner. Here, it's Fortuner, but I don't think it's that. It doesn't occupy that big of a market share. But for us, we have the Prado. So if the Prado has a 4-cylinder engine and the V8 has a V6, it even loses its name.
Yeah.
I think you're kind of missing the point, because the people who'd have wanted the Prado buyer would now be wondering what to buy, because yes, those engines will perform. The 4-cylinder ones that is currently in the Prado that we get, it will just perform well, but now you'll have it competing in the same segment as the V8.
Yes, so when it comes to engine, like now the V8 4-cylinder and V8 8-cylinder, right?
No, V8 is just V8. V8 8-cylinder.
8 cylinders, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
So can they still have the same CC?
Not necessarily. I'd say the answer to that is yes and no. Because, for example, take the Mach-X that I have, right?
Yes.
You have the... Both will have... There's the 3000cc one, the all-wheel drive one, and there's the V6 that's 2000cc. So you see, they are both V6,
yes,
but one is 3 liter, another one is 2 liter, I think. Power output will be different. Fuel consumption will be totally different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get you. That's well taken.